Today on the channel, from the crossover event of a lifetime, we've got Casey Jones as the Phantom of the Opera.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Universal Monsters crossover event. Some may say the crossover event of a lifetime. I wouldn't go that far, but some do. But today, we're taking a look at Casey Jones as the Phantom of the Opera. But remember, for all your Phantom of the Opera needs, Casey Jones needs, and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%, and anything over $59 does ship free. Of course, Casey Jones, a pivotal member and a close friend of the Turtles back in the day, and who are we fooling once again? He's friends with them today, but Casey Jones, an interesting one in this line of the Universal Monster crossovers, and I've said it before in the Universal Monster unboxings with my dad that we've done here on the channel. Phantom of the Opera is one of my least favorites, and maybe it's because it's one of the earlier Universal Monster movies. It just feels very old. It feels very ancient, but I was not just... Nothing compelled me with the Phantom of the Opera character. It just didn't do a lot for me as a kid. Tried to watch it many years later. Still didn't do a whole lot for me. But it is a very cool figure. It is a very cool look, I guess we'll say, of Phantom of the Opera. I'll definitely pick up the NECA version of Universal Monsters because I do like the look of the character. The movie just left a little bit something to be desired for me. But an interesting one here with Casey Jones as the Phantom of the Opera. I kind of assumed when they announced this line originally, Casey Jones was going to be like a Van Helsing. We do know that went to Splinter. We did unbox that on the channel. So Casey Jones, for whatever reason, is the Phantom of the Opera. And I guess it does kind of work because, hey, he wears a mask, all that kind of stuff. So that makes a lot of sense, I guess. If they're not going to do Van Helsing, this is probably the second best for me, at least. But of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other ones here on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Love that artwork on the front right here. I love the Phantom in red. Very cool. There's the logos at the top. Very, very cool one. And this was part of the Target Haulathon the last week. These did go up online. I, luckily enough, found this at a Target store, and I've only seen that one I found in Davenport, Iowa. Shout out to Davenport right now. Dealing with some flooding over there, as I did see a couple weeks ago, and still going on today. But I did find this at the Target over there, but I do assume these will be at Targets pretty regularly here in the next few weeks, then the Entertainment Earths of the world, all the other places. The usual suspects, we'll call it. But beautiful cover art there. Very cool on the side. Casey Jones is the Phantom. Little glamour shot down below. There it is on the side. You got a little cross-sell of some of the other ones here. We've unboxed every single one of these ones on the channel, so check out those videos if you did miss them. And then you get that kind of old-school movie poster background there. I love that as well. Let's see what it says about old Casey Jones back here. The enigmatic, easy for me to say, and operatic man behind the mask. Oh, it reminds me of the Alice Cooper song. Bringing fear in hockey gear, experience fear actual frights, stalking under the stage, the penalty box vigilante, slashing beneath the ice. Casey Jones as the Phantom. Who or what is it? Very cool there. And then, of course, you do get the opening here on the side. Nice little glamour shot over here. The big window box that we're accustomed to with NECA. Plenty of accessories here. Tons of stuff going on. So much, in fact. Going to take this offline. Going to unbox Casey Jones. And we'll be back talking all things Phantom Casey Jones. All right, we got Phantom of the Opera, Casey Jones out of the package. Let's dive in here and let's start off with the accessories as we usually do. And we got plenty of hands for Casey. Casey came to fight, though. He's got two Fists of Fury on the character there. And then we get all these extra hands with him. So what do we get here? We got a wide open hand. We got a gripping hand. We got the other wide open hand, the other gripping hand. It's on point. You got to have the yin and the yang. And then we got two more different gripping hands here. So it looks like... they're all the same way, just extra gripping hands, one thicker than the other one. So I guess choose your own hand adventure, as we always do say. Very white, pale skin tone, which does make sense with the Phantom of the Opera gimmick here. So a pale skin tone on these, and then gloved hands as well, bringing the Casey Jones aspect into it. Then we get a couple of extra hands here, and these are the ones I'm probably going to use. And this Casey is loaded for bear here. There's a lot of different accessories, a lot of different heads here, where you really could have multiples of this Casey, really mix them up, change the tune on this one. A little bit more choose your own adventure than some of the other ones we've gotten in this line, so that is pretty cool. But we do get 2 gloved hands here. You get a traditional glove hand, fits just like a normal peg in there. It is a hockey glove. Almost looks like a coal miner's glove from back in the day, in the old wrestling days. Very interesting brown sculpt. Very good. Very different right there. And then you get like a goalie pad here. So it's an arm, hand, arm, forearm, whatever you want to call it, with a goalie protector mitt thing. I got some spikes on the end, so you can give somebody one of those. And then you got the X and the skull on the top. Very, very cool. Definitely going to have to use one or both of these on the Casey Jones. As much as I like the regular hands, I'll have to figure that out. But he is, I guess, a goalie after all. He does have the goalie mask he wears. Part of the Phantom of the Opera gimmick here is he wore a mask. Phantom wore a mask. Things like that. So we do have those. Then we do have the hockey sticks. I would not be shocked if this isn't reused from a prior version of Casey Jones, which makes a lot of sense. I don't fault NECA for doing that. Gotta get the most out of your molds. But you do got the goalie stick here and the traditional hockey stick. Choose your own adventure, what hockey game you wanted to play. You wanted to be your goalie, you wanted to be a defenseman, he could do whatever he needs to do. He's a very versatile player out on the ice. But looking good there, 2 hockey sticks. Nice brown worn to him. Got some tape around him like a true wooden hockey stick would have. And then we carry on with cape season. Oh, it's cape season after all. You get the nice collar at the top, very Dracula NECA-esque at the top here. It does loop on over. You take the head off, you slide this on. Of course, Phantom of the Opera, known for his cape as well. And it looks like you can put the arms through the cape here. So very interesting, very versatile cape here. Nice, soft, good cape. Very nice shine to it as well. Unfortunately, it does not have a wiring in it. Always love a wired cape. You could do that yourself if you wanted to, but it is not a wired cape. But whoa, 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 stop the clock. I did say I wish there was more of a wired cape on this figure. Now I gotta walk that back a little bit because there is a wired cape down the sides. It is not wired at the bottom. So when I was looking at it, playing with it, the bottom didn't have the wiring, but it does on the side. So it does look really nice. You do get a little wired. I wish it was wired all the way through, but a little wire is better than no wire. So I wanted to break in and talk about that in this video. Really nice. There's gonna be a lot of good glamour shots of this Casey Jones. There's a lot of different directions you can go in with this figure. Now we get down to the heads, and that's gonna be the interesting part with this Casey. Now you do get the one on him here. I love the crazy psycho eyes behind the mask. Very Jason Voorhees-esque, really. And you do get, of course, the long Casey Jones black hair. You get a very scuffed up, very dirty mask. Once again, very much like Jason Voorhees is what it feels like. It's not the clean hockey mask we're accustomed to in the Turtle universe, I guess we'll call it. But the eyes behind the mask are what makes this head sculpt absolutely cool. Absolutely do love the head on this one. Looking really nice. Then we get the extra head here. The second one, a very Phantom of the Opera-esque mask, of course, with the kind of breakage there. He pulls it back. You guys know if you ever saw Lon Chaney himself do his thing, but you do get the long black hair. You do get the eyes behind the mask. This time they got the side-eye McFarlane look going on there, but he's got the gruesome face on the side, looking really ugly, looking really just beat up and gross is what it looks like here. I like both of these heads, but honestly, I like this one better between the two. Even though this one has the chipped off one, there's just something about the eyes in this one. It's just staring into your soul, just crazy eyes going there. It just looks really, really nice. And then the second head sculpt we got is an interesting one as well, as a very versatile one, as it is a skull head. You guys know everybody loves skeletons in the action figure game, and that's what this is, just a straight up skeleton head. I really wish there was articulation on the jaw. There is no articulation there. But the cool thing about this head, you can use it as an accessory. He can be holding it, looking at it, talking to it. You can use it in a different line if you want to, or you can plop this on Casey Jones and you can have this as the head here. Very versatile, once again, very different ways you can go, and I can see people buying this just for this head to use with other projects, other things. A customizer's dream is what we'll call this skull. Skull, definitely a skull color to it. It's kind of got that dirty white color to it with all the different cracks and things like we see with a skull. Nice teeth here. This skeleton really went to the dentist because all of his teeth are intact. Looking good. The big, deep black eye sockets, and of course, it pegs right into the head if you need it to. So very cool accessories with this one. I can't rave enough about how cool those accessories are. Then we do get Casey Jones here in the package. And it's very interesting as it does feel Phantom of the Opera. Of course, we know old Lon Chaney, what he was wearing in that. And then it does feel like a hockey player. And then it does feel like Casey Jones. So it really feels like three different things kind of brought together, which I guess it's supposed to. But he does have the goalie kind of padding. You got the big pants, diaper, whatever you want to call it for a goalie wears there. You do get the knee pads. You do get kind of the soccer, baseball, goalie socks going there, I guess. You do get some very interesting shoes here. They're not ice skates, but they are like, got sharp edges on them there. So we do got a little bit of that going on. Some nice cleat action. Almost looks like a baseball player in some kind of a way, like an old-time baseball game, talking about like old-time. Kind of looks like that. I love his bolo tie. Not a bolo tie. I don't know what you call that. I call this the Colonel Sanders tie. A very, very, takes a very strong-willed man to wear a tie like this. Not every guy can pull this off. Harlan Sanders can do it, and few and far between, but apparently Casey Jones, as Phantom of the Opera, can do that. Got some nice buttons down there. Nice black color all in all. Just very cool, very heavy metal is what this feels like. Looks like you could put a guitar in his hand and he'd be ready to be in some band like a Ghoul or a Gwar or something like that if he needed to. But definitely cool throughout. Now articulation, head goes side to side, up and down. Of course, head's going to be removable. Got that big hula hoop section, big waist articulation there. Arms going to go all the way around. Very tight joints on this one. Arms do go around. There is no bicep cut. You do get the side-to-side, single-jointed elbows on this one. Hands removable. Hands a little bit loose on this guy. I will say that. Then, of course, you do get the big old Casey Jones goalie splits if he needs to. You do get the double-jointed knees. Yes, double-jointed knees. No boot cut on this one. You do get the ankles side to side, back and forth. Not as imposing as some of the big turtle figures we have gotten in this line. This is more of the human style, of course, like the Bride of Frankenstein, April O'Neil we did receive. Mattel ringside collectible stand. Does he fit on there? Let's see. Oh, fits like a glove. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on your ringside stands. Make sure you get the Mattel stands, as I always do say. Fits perfectly on there. A little comparison's sake, I don't even know where to go with comparisons, but I did grab the traditional Casey Jones from the cartoon, or I should say the movie Turtle line. Definitely some similarities between these two. You could even switch the heads if you really wanted to, but very cool idea. In one, like I said, I always thought for whatever reason I figured he'd be Van Helsing. Makes a lot more sense to have him as the Phantom of the Opera with the whole mask gimmick, all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of the Phantom of the Opera hockey player is what we got right there. I mean, we do have some of those turtles. I guess I'm not going to grab them all, but you can see some of the comparisons between these guys. Definitely feels like it's in the same collection, but feels like it's in a different collection, if that makes sense, as this big old turtle here looks quite different, quite bigger than, of course, Casey Jones is here going on. But a very, very cool figure. I can see a lot of people wanting this, even if you're not getting the whole line. I can see people wanting this one done here, especially if you're a hockey fan, a Casey Jones fan, or a horror fan, or just a cool figure fan. A lot to like about this one. This one definitely did blow away my expectations. It'll be interesting where he fits in my year-end award list. And where do I put them? Is he a miscellaneous figure, turtle figure, universal monster figure? I'm not even sure where to classify this guy. I'd have to figure that out, and I got a long ways to do that until the end of the year. But way better than I expected. I didn't really have huge expectations for this, but I really did enjoy this figure. Very, very cool. Can't wait to play around with it with all the different positions. Got to figure out what head, how I want to display him. There's a lot of options here, and I could see real hardcore fans of this figure buying multiples of these. That would make sense to me as well. But what say you guys out there in YouTube land? You picking up Casey Jones? You playing the long game? Is he a day one pickup for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day and then some. Yes, and then some. And even more content for you, including early access to videos like this over on my Patreon channel. Your best way to support the channel and all the content. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. Sir Paul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Casey Jones, Phantom of the Opera, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Universal Monster fans everywhere, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.